Call this regular meeting of council to order here at City Hall, December 21st, 2021. I have one addition to the agenda. That would be Viking here. Are there any additions to the agenda this evening? Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the table. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Are there any citizens' comments this evening? Okay. We have a representative from Viking here.
Thank you. I guess you just kind of want an update where things are at, I'm sure. So, I mean, I guess how we got, our plan was originally to, according to our original agreement, our plan was to get the roof put on and the outside painted this year for your water tower. And then in 2 years, we were going to do the interior, if you guys remember. And then it was spread out over 5 years. And we've tried, and one thing that was really important to me, and I let my company know from the start, was I wanted the right people here doing the work. The right guys to put the roof on, to build the roof and put the roof on, and the right guys to paint it. And we've had a trying year, like most people have, and we, in fact, our steel crew, they've been quarantined twice that I know of, and maybe more. So that kind of, everything just got pushed back a little more than we wanted to. And then when we went to put the roof, when we wanted to get the roof put on, then this whole thing started with KDHE, which is really kind of, this is all maintenance. We're not doing, it's not a structural difference to the tank. This is how it's been done for many years. And unfortunately, they are now requesting that we provide more drawings and more documentation and that kind of thing. It's stuff we were already doing. We were doing everything right. It's, like I said, basically, so what we're doing is we're kind of acting as the engineer now too, and providing a lot of documentation. Before I mean, just this afternoon, we got word back from them that they've got all our stuff, and we've replied back, and we've got them all the information they need. The only thing that we're lacking is a permit, which we've never ever had to do before. And the permit itself, and I brought it with me, I don't even know how to fill the thing out because it has nothing to do with a water tank. It has everything to do with where your water comes from and filtration and all these other things. I just briefly looked at it. But once we get that filled out and turned in, then what our plan would like to be to adapt to the situation is, once we get it approved, I mean, we want to get that roof put on. We want to get that roof painted and put on. Or well, we've got it primed. We want to get it on. And then we want to come back in the spring and do the interior and the exterior at the same time. It just makes more sense. So that would be our plan.
And that would initially put us back on schedule.
No, it would put us ahead of schedule.
Okay.
Because we were planning to do, and I didn't remember exactly, in fact I've got it right here. The original work schedule was to do the steel repairs and the exterior this year in 2021. And then in 2022 we were just going to do a visual inspection, and in 2023 we were going to blast and do the interior. And then in 2024 would be the last year of the payment, would we do another visual inspection. What I'm proposing to do is to get the steel repairs done as quickly as we can. I mean, we can do that, and we would be able to, and the tank's going to have to be drained, obviously. And we can do all the steel repairs, which is the roof and everything that goes with it. So that's the primary hatch, the secondary manway, the vent, the ladder on the roof, seal weld it back on, put the new ladder on, take the antennas down, put a new drain plug in, take the spider rods out, and get all that done. And then we come back in the spring when we have better weather, and then we do the interior and the exterior at the same time. That would be that's what we want to do. I'm not sure about getting this, like I said, we've never ever had to fill this. I've never been requested. We work in Nebraska where we have to, any time that you cut into a tank in Nebraska, you have to get a permit. And we do that all the time, but it's a simple one-page thing. You do it a week or two ahead of time. And I kind of got warned when all this kind of happened with KDHE. It depends who you talk to there, to be honest with you. And that was just the luck of the draw how that worked. And I don't know whether they think that every time you put a vent on a tank or an overflow on a tank or something that you have to hire an engineer and do it. But I mean, honestly, what we're doing is the information we're giving them, that's basically what you would have paid an engineer 15% to do, $25,000 basically. So that's just the way it is, and we're just going to keep pushing our way through it. I apologize for not getting here earlier. We would like to work. We would like to be. I mean, and we did try once, but it's just spring, fall. Everybody wants their stuff done. You get behind a little bit, and all of a sudden you're 30 days behind, and it's a struggle. And part of the problem is the fact that I've been pretty demanding about who I want here to do it. So, and I'm still going to do that. And if I have to wait longer, it's a better idea to wait longer to get the right people doing it. It's unfortunate because the way we had it scheduled to put that roof on, boy, the weather, it would have worked out. If that next day after he got that thing built was no wind, 70 degrees, it was perfect. But that's just the way it goes. Now, as far as disinfecting your tank goes, we disinfect per an AWWA standard, and it's basically we just mix up chlorine and water and spray the inside of your tank when you put it back in service. And I know where Jason was asking the questions was about disinfecting. And Jason since had a talk with Kansas Rural Water, and I have too. And just the fact of the matter is, when I ask people how they disinfect their tanks, or how they do their testing when they're done, and that's up to the water operator wherever you're at, of course. But they basically tell me, I get 3 different responses. You either take 2 samples, which takes a lot of time to do. If you read the letter of the law, that's the way to do it, but in all practicality, some people do it once, and a lot of times we do cleanouts, people don't do it at all. So, I mean, that's just the way it is. So, in this case, probably ought to follow the guidelines of doing it twice and doing it that way. But that's out of we're not operators, we're not the ones doing the testing. So, that's kind of where things are at. I mean, I'm really thankful because, I mean, literally, my guy called me at 5 o'clock and said he got word back and he was already sending documents back to him, and they're working back and forth to get that done. He said within the next couple of days he'll have a new engineered stamp drawing that he can give them, which honestly, guys, we did that from the start. We had all that information. It's just that it just creates more complications. Sometimes it doesn't always work in the best interest of the town to do all that stuff. And I wish I could have predicted this ahead of time and talked to you about it, but I've never had it happen before. So hindsight's 20/20. Is that kind of, do you guys have any questions, concerns, or anything you want us to do different? Or, I mean, I don't know what else we can do. I mean, at this point, we just got to keep pushing through and try and get it going. I mean, we've been pushing. Part of our problem, part of the thing, we got delayed a week in getting another drawing turned in because our engineer was on vacation for a week. So that slowed us just a little bit, but now it seems like things will move pretty good, I think.
Time frame on the permit?
I don't know.
I mean, is that weeks,
That'll-
months?
That'll be up to Dan.
I don't know. I brought a copy with me. Have you ever seen this? I haven't either. I mean, it has totally to do with your water supply and where it comes from and how it's treated and all those kinds of things. I mean, it has nothing to do with what we're doing. Nothing. What we're doing is maintenance on the tank, and we're not structurally changing the tank. So I don't even know. I mean, we're gonna have to try and work through filling this
Just have to
out.
wait for Dan.
Well, I mean, you guys are gonna have to fill this out because I can't, these are all
Oh,
questions.
that's for Dan right there?
Yeah, this is the
Alright,
permit. It's
alright.
8 pages long. It says description of the aquifer form from which the water supply is to be maintained, log of the well or test holes, diameter, depth of the new well. I mean, it doesn't have anything to do with it. So I don't know. But this is what he's asking us to fill up, asking to be filled
I'll
out.
just have to fill it out.
So, you know,
Paperwork that maybe should be updated from time to time by the city, and now that they're
Well, we can
requesting.
get it. It's just that, like he says, I understand what he's saying. It has nothing to do with putting a lid or
I
a
mean-
top on the
no,
water
there's
tap.
probably a few things in here that maybe,
But the depth of the wells, is that what he said?
oh yeah, it's average yearly rainfall over the drainage area, nature of the drainage area, what measures will be taken to protect the drainage and reservoir from contamination. I mean, it just doesn't have anything to do
Sounds like
with
something
anything.
that they should have a file on already,
I think you're right.
and maybe it
Well-
was because they didn't.
I mean, actually, probably when you had your water plant done, you would have had to,
Oh,
you would
yeah.
have had to
It's
have a
probably-
permit like
it's in
this
the-
when you
yeah.
built your water plant.
That's all probably in
Yes,
the,
thank
in the
you.
paperwork. That's what I'm saying, but he's gotta fill it out. I didn't get that yet, so.
Yeah, I literally got
Okay.
this at 5 o'clock. And I had a engineer buddy of mine that I work with a lot and talked to him about it ahead of time. He says, oh yeah, he's probably gonna make you fill out this 8-page form. Somebody's gonna have to fill out the 8-page form. Well, he said the city will because that's the only ones that can.
Another being that book down.
And we were hoping that that wouldn't happen, but now it's happened, so. You know, short of this, everything else is handled. So,
Our payment schedule is still gonna stay the same, even
Yeah.
though we're ahead of schedule?
Yes.
Just curious.
Yeah.
Okay,
it just makes more sense.
yeah, no, that's fine.
It's the best way to do it, and that, I mean, the painters will already be here, so why don't we just go ahead and do it all? It's gonna sit, you know, once this gets approved and then they put the roof on, it's gonna sit with that zinced roof on it, like you see it. And I don't know if you guys have gone out to look at it or anything, but I think they did a bang-up job on it.
Pretty good.
So, everything is done right.
Council, you have any other questions?
I'll forward this stuff. I will we'll be forwarding all this stuff to you. And when we get, you know, he's asked us for some more information, and Matt is our project guy, and he is already putting it together, and, I mean, he's just waiting on getting, all he's gotta do is get a stamp, another stamp on a drawing, and get him some more detailed information. I mean, we set up a scope of work and said, we're gonna meet all of AWWA, KDH, we're gonna meet all these guidelines, and now we're just submitting, like, a drawing of the vent, a drawing of the manway, all those things, that were all proper. So it's basically, if you had a USDA loan or whatever, and you had to hire an engineer, and he had to put drawings together, which usually they come ask us for all that stuff anyway. So, I mean, that's basically what we're doing, is we're just kind of working as the engineer here, getting it approved. It's not a typical way that we ever do anything, you know, other than other than if somebody's got loan money or something where they're bidding on it. Because to us, this is all just maintenance. So,
Well, I still wish KDHE would have said something too.
We don't have any extra costs, do we, with this?
No. Nope.
Any other questions, council?
Thanks for coming out. and
Yeah.
putting us on the same page.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but it's all gonna work out.
So am I, bud.
It's all gonna work out and we'll all kinda learn something from it too, you know? So, it'll make us better.
Well, thank you very much for coming
Okay.
in to
Yep.
updating council, we appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, appreciate it.
Okay, consent agenda, approved minutes, regular council meeting, December 7th, 2021.
So moved.
Second. I have a motion and a second on the table. Any more discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Appropriation ordinance 12/21/2021 in the amount of $16,382.76.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the table. Any more discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries.
Abstain.
One abstain. All right, our department heads. Electrical department, Jeff?
Well, I think everybody knows that the engine's in, the piping's all done. We're just waiting on the guys from Mid-States. We got a bill, it's either yesterday or this morning from them for last month's material and stuff that they bought, and a note on there with it that said that they'll be here sometime next month. So, to do the wiring end of it, so I guess that's where we're sitting there. Most of you know, we had a few problems last week during the windstorm. We took care of them. We generated for about 10 hours and repaired the stuff that needed to be repaired. And then on Sunday, we had a little deal that was probably left over from the windstorm, a loose connection that burned a wire in two and killed the phase going out to the highway, but we had it fixed in about an hour. So we're just a couple of broken poles, a few things like that, you know, but everything's taken care of and it's all done. And we're trying to make some plans for spring on these days that we have a little time to see where we want to go next to start repairing stuff. So anyway, I've kind of gotten some stuff pushed in front of me because of the breakdown of over the years of some wear and tear, some stuff that I really wanted to put off a few years. I think we're going to have to do this next year, but probably in the spring we'll want to order some poles and a few things like that, and try and repair part of the what we call the East Side 2 circuit, which goes to the highway. It's our highest amperage circuit. It's got the most use, and it's about 40 years old. I think we built it when I first came here in the early 80s, so it's due for some upgrades. The wire's good, but the poles and the cross arms, things like that, connections. Of course, we use a different type of connection now. We use a crimp connection instead of a bolted connection, so they don't work loose like the bolted connections did. So I gave Jamie some pictures. I didn't know whether you guys had seen them or if she wants to show them to you or not of what the engine looks like in the plant. And the guys that did it are top-notch welders. I mean, the welds are smooth, they're clean, they've all been pressure tested, everything's ready to go. So, and we've had a leak on that number 5 engine that we've been trying this. We've kind of been babysitting, but finally we didn't want to drain it unless we could put water back in it because we don't want to leave it down very long. So it takes about 3 hours to drain it down. We drained it this morning. We thought we had it fixed. Still got a little bit of a leak, so we're going to drain it in the morning. We're going to see if we can get it done. So other than that, it's really about all I have. So
I went down and looked at it. I've been playing a couple times through the process.
Yeah, I don't think the pictures are gonna do it justice, but
yeah, if you put them up, they would. But down there, they're kind of hard to see. But
$750,000 looks like.
what?
That's what $750,000 looks like.
Not yet. It's not done. This looks like part of it.
I'd say only about $500,000. But it does look good. I mean, they've done a good job.
It's a good investment.
We've done a fair amount of generating this year.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, really
And it's funny, we generated 2 months in a row on the same day, you know. was crazy, but, you know, I think the other day when that storm, took us down, I think we were down 7 minutes before we had everything back on and had everybody up and running. We had some pops and some things that got disconnected, that got reconnected, you know, because of the storm, but we had the engine on. We were in the lumberyard shaking some paint, in fact, when it went out. And so, you know, my guys, they're starting to learn. It's you know, it's a long process, but they're starting to learn the way things have to be done in order to disconnect from the tie and that stuff. And I'm sure that, you know, this won't be the last time, but this is the first time that it's happened in the daytime where they could see us put an engine back on in the black. So, but after the caterpillars are done, why, it'll all be different than what it is now. So,
Did the cat that Mid-States was down working on it, you know, it was acting funny?
yeah, I haven't run it.
Oh, wait.
I don't trust it. I just,
Okay.
you know, that thing and I must have a love-hate relationship because it doesn't like me.
Okay.
But
I was just curious.
no, the load's been heavy enough I couldn't run it anyway, so.
Yeah.
But, hopefully when Bruce gets here, we'll get the kinks worked out of it. But like I say, when they get done, it'll be all different than what it is now, but
How are you guys doing with fuel for that plan?
good, we're fine, yeah. Yeah, when we get down to about 4,000 gallons, why, I'll come in, but I think right now we're over 6, so we've got quite a bit. And we haven't had any bad weather where we've had to use any equipment fuel out there either, so it's just been generating fuel is all it's been. But we generated just under 10,000 kilowatts the other day, so we were on from just before 2 till just before midnight, so. In fact, we'd already split up. We were gonna run 2 shifts. We thought maybe we were gonna be there all night long. And I called Midwest Energy about 9 o'clock and he said, well, I think we're gonna have you back on before midnight. So he said, we found the problem. It's just a matter of getting to it and getting it repaired. So anyway, and we were back on by just after 11:30. So we were home by midnight. So anyway.
Okay. Anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns for Jeff this evening? Okay, thank you, Jeff. And Jeff, please pass on to your crew. Thank you from me for getting that transformer taken care of as quickly as they did that night. It was much appreciated.
Most of us were there when it happened. You know, it's just one of them freak deals. Wind does strange things. It really does. I mean,
That's for sure.
It happens in places that you think would never happen. And the stuff that you hold your breath on still standing in the air when you get done. So anyway, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But thank you. You're welcome. I'll tell them.
Okay. All right, moving on to Water Department. Jason.
Paperwork. Other than that, no.
Okay. Anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns for Jason under the Water Department? Okay, Jason again, Street and Park Department.
Oh, just usual stuff. Sweeping streets and stuff, not much. This ain't on it. Not yet.
Anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns for Jason under Street and Park Department? Okay, moving on. Police Department, Chief Perez.
I don't have anything.
Anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns for Chief Perez this evening? Okay, Fire Department, Chief Sanders.
I don't have anything.
Anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns for Chief Sanders this evening? Moving on, City Administrator Jamie.
Hi, I do. Danielle is taking the next 2 weeks off, so when she gets back, we will be working final numbers for end of the year transfers. And we'll approve those at the first meeting, since we have the 15th month to work through. I forgot to bring it up at the last meeting, Christmas bonuses this year, if you guys are interested in that. We can get those approved and get those out tomorrow. Merry Christmas week, huh? So, yeah, if you would like to do that.
$100 a week, person.
$100 for, did we do full-time, or did we
I
do
think we done
part-time?
everybody.
So if you guys would like to do that, I just need a motion and we can get those out.
I'd make a motion, we do $100 Christmas bonus for all employees out of the light fund.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the table. Any more discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries.
Sorry, Jeff, we took some of your money.
They always do. I'm the guy that feeds it. I guess that's where you take it from.
Also, I have 2 accounts for the year that I am requesting to be written off. One has passed away and the other has claimed bankruptcy, so I need a motion to write off $8,982.05.
How far back did those go?
One was $8,400 back when all of that was going on, and we've just been unable to collect on that one. So,
89, 8205.
I mean, if there's a state open, you can always file a claim in the state.
yeah, I think we just probably need to write it off.
I've got an idea because it's been outstanding forever. I mean,
Yeah.
ever since long before I got on council, so
Yeah.
I just.
And the other one on bankruptcy.
It depends on what they file a check or let them or check or seven.
But you're talking $582.
Oh, true.
I mean, they can be done by city staff, but, I mean, it's probably,
I'm pretty sure they filed bankruptcy like every other year, because I get,
it's probably discharged.
Do they still have
no, I
utilities?
don't believe
there?
they're here. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with the bankruptcy is if you just gain a prorated share, and so sometimes you get pennies on a dollar, and it just isn't worth filing.
I'd make a motion that we write off $8,982.05 on past due utilities.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the table. Any more discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries.
I think that is it. I gave you guys your related party questionnaires for 2021, so I can get those submitted for the audit. And I think that's it. This council will meet one more time, and then the second meeting of January, new council will take place. So I have some, the league has kind of sent out more online training, handout material type stuff, especially for Sarah coming on as new. I have stuff to be able to hand out to her, which I'm just going to give to everyone, just kind of as a refresher if you guys want to take the time to look at that and just have the opportunity to freshen up on things for the new year. So,
Anything else?
no.
Anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns for Jamie? Okay, moving on, City Attorney John.
I don't have anything.
Okay, anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns for John this evening? Moving on to old business. Is there anything that we need to discuss underneath there? I believe that we have something from NA Alert. Is that something we want to talk about?
This isn't for us.
Oh, it's
I
not?
don't know.
Okay.
No, he gave that to me. Yes.
Yeah, but this is Stafford County. This is for the sheriff's department.
No, I think that is for you, it's for you, Jamie.
Oh,
They just got the top of it wrong.
oh, okay.
That's
why I was like, did
Sorry,
they approve
I
this?
didn't realize, I didn't even look at the name on it, I guess. He just gave it to me, but.
Okay, so this was passed around. I think they said that it's for 5 cameras.
Not right, Jerry.
Yeah, what I did for the last time being here, guys, I went back and told the owners, INA, that the council was under the assumption that it might be too much money. So they went to the engineers, had the engineers refigure a 5-camera system. And what it amounts to, it comes down to $26,000 plus $300 a month for 48 months as a payment. And what you get with that, if after the warranty period runs out, you get a 10% discount on parts if you have to buy them from us. And also, they said if the council agrees to this evening, there will be a 5% discount off the $26,000. They were trying to get stuff wrapped up by the end of the year is what it amounts to. But this would be a 5-camera system which would let you eventually grow into more cameras if you want to. Like I think the original quote was for like 70,000, wasn't that right?
About 74 or something like
Yeah.
that.
So I just told them I thought that was too much money, so the engineers got on the computer, they just figured a 5-camera system instead of a 10 or 12, whatever that first one was.
And just kind of pick and choose where we want them or whatever.
You probably can. I would kind of leave it up to the engineers since they've got the pictures and the maps of when they were down here and took pictures of everything. And, you know, they're gonna probably do whatever's easiest installation, camera to camera to camera, you know. But that's just off the top of my head here. But that's basically it in a nutshell. I just tried to get it knocked down as much as I could to save the city a little money, so that's what they come up with. And that 5% amounts to about $1,250, I think.
What'd you say, $300 a month per, how many months?
It's basically $300 for 48 months, or see, $299.95 for 48 months.
Billed monthly.
Huh?
Just billed monthly.
Yeah. Yeah, and they'll bill you for the, if you decide to do it, they'll bill you for the 26,000 with 5% discount too, so.
I like the idea of it. I think that could be a growing system that someday could give Tori 24 access of the whole, every entrance and exit of the town from her cell phone.
Just for insight, I was in the city of Hugoton today and we did their Main Street about 3 months ago and they absolutely love it. The city clerk today told me it's the best thing they thought they'd spent their money on for a while. We did all of Main Street down in Hugoton for the city of Hugoton. They really, really like it, she told me today.
I mean, it is a lot of money, but you figure a year's wages of an officer, this is just the way I analyze it. 24 hours a day, 5 places at once, a year's wages of an officer. It's cheap, if you know how to utilize it. It's over my head, but if you know how to utilize it and we can use it to our advantage, I think it's a direct assistance to the police department. That's just me.
I think it is too. I mean, I'm kind of the one that brought it up and
Is there sales tax on that?
I'm sorry?
Is there sales tax?
Shouldn't be.
I don't think so.
Should it be?
Generating revenue.
No, there's no sales tax.
Tori, what do you think?
Can we take 2,800 out of the canine fund for this?
You can have all the money from the canine fund.
I'm just being a smart tail.
I've been on board with it since day one, but
I mean, you think that's the right way to look at it? Like I'm saying, I mean, it's,
yeah.
I mean, we do have $300,000 in the 1% sales tax too.
It's only 14,000 over 48 months.
Do the days.
Do
I
you
try to do it as
recall
inexpensive
how
as possible.
Right, I know.
I just think regardless, I mean, people are starting to get cameras in other cities. Like, why can't we keep up with our technology? I mean, we have more cases than you guys think, and there's a lot of cases where we open them and we're like, well, we did all the investigating we can do. We don't have any cameras, so it's not like we don't have the resources to go out and be like, oh, I'm going to go try to track this person down who stole your vehicle or who vandalized your property. I mean, it's one more thing to help us investigate stuff around here. I mean, we have a lot of cases that don't even get turned into the state because you have to have a suspect. So they just get filed away.
You're not gonna hear any argument out of me. I mean, for the fire department, I covered 3 cities in the north end of the county with cameras. And it wasn't necessarily for anything other than, you know, we don't have cops there all the time. They drive through once, twice, 3 times a day, but most of the time, the fire stations sit vulnerable. And, you know, I spent $21,000 on 3 cameras.
Something else they told me, if you guys decide to do it this evening, that it will speed the installation up about 4 weeks compared to after the first of the year, because product's getting hard to get and don't know when we get it. you know, as we order stuff, we don't know when it's coming in, but he said it would speed it up about four weeks installation time. We're normally out 4 to 8 weeks, so you're looking at probably a month from now or so before they could start installing it.
So where could we pull those funds from besides 1%?
Well, the K-9 fund has about $3,000 in it.
The police department.
Huh?
Police department.
And the police department still has some wiggle room in by the end of the year budget.
Which, yeah, I guess that
And that's in the
26
general
is, 26
fund.
is initial and 300 here for 48 months is just.
And then, I mean,
additional, so
when we do the 2023 budget, that's something that we'll be able to put in there.
add into it.
Since we weren't expecting it, it's not gonna be an expense that's gonna hold us back for 2022, I don't believe.
$3,600 a year. Yeah, yeah.
It's not gonna make, I mean, the last 4 or 5 years, we've cut back enough that
Right.
we probably cut back that amount of money every year, so.
Can you split that between 1% and police department?
We can do it
I mean,
in
is
4
there,
funds.
is there,
You
Yeah.
think you do it half and half?
well, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Half out of 1% and then the
Yeah.
3,000 for the K-9 fund, because we don't have it.
Yeah, I
And
was
then another 10 out of
honestly
hers.
just planning on either putting that back in general or just getting it out of there and
I mean, what I
I
had
think we're
looked
gonna
at,
need a K-9
you'd sent
fund.
us that, the fund, and I've probably scrolled past it now, but when you sent us out where everybody was on theirs,
yeah, the police department was way,
they still had 94,000 left in their budget.
right.
Yeah,
So
I
you'd
mean,
be willing to have-
yeah, I'd like to see as much as possible come out of there, and she's gonna be the one utilizing it the most. And
Yeah,
I think it goes just with what she said, it's the technology advancements for the law enforcement
Right.
and the city coverage.
Yeah. With your permission, I will work it however you want me to, but I can look at taking it all out of there and.
Because I mean,
making sure that-
transfers still have to come out of that 94,000, correct?
Do we have 5,000?
I thought it was 10.
Is it 10 for the car?
I thought it
would
was.
just say as much as possible, if not, come out.
That's the only way I'm on board.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that.
Just
Yeah,
realized
and
I mean, unless it's gonna
Where's
come in a fine or a few
Where's
thousand
the
or something.
So, Tori, you think you could, I mean, I can't pick these 5 spots. You think you can come up with, I mean, where you can utilize them the best, I guess?
Yeah,
I
me
mean,
and
that's-
Marshall will work on that.
I don't really want to tell you what to put in.
Munden's got a good point too on the engineers looking at the
Mhm.
geographical overlay.
Yeah,
that they've got.
they've got the map up
You know,
there.
they gotta have some kind of logarithm.
Oh,
that
yeah,
They do
I
that all
would-
the time.
I would highly recommend their opinion on it, because they do it day in and day out every day.
You know, and the nice thing about it, I mean, next year if we decide that we want another 5 cameras, you could always plan that for the beginning of the next, budget it in for the following year.
Jerry,
You get enough of them around, that's as good as 10 people's eyes.
Oh, yeah.
are those 360-degree cameras?
I don't know what
Do
they
you
are,
remember that?
they're the line item.
Can you tell?
It says there's 3 of them that are multi-sensor cameras and 5 indoor single port gigabyte PoE, that's the soft, I don't know what that is. I mean, I'm not up to speed on all the I don't know what the cameras are.
Just curious, because some of those cameras that were on the map were 360 degrees in one direction.
Right, and I don't know which ones are which. There again, I would think that'd have to do with where you put them, is what camera goes where,
It says
so.
multi-sensor cameras. 2 corner mount. Oh, those are adapters.
They already did the 60-day notice.
Yeah, I don't remember what mine were.
Yeah. I don't know, makes.
Mine are directional, but, you know, like one of my cameras covers, it's sitting on the corner of a building and it actually covers everything but 90 degrees of it.
Right.
And then we put another one up to cover what it didn't catch. So, and I think they were, it's hard for me to remember. I know all of mine were about the same, but I think I put 3 or 4, I don't remember how many we done. Do you remember how many we done?
Wasn't it 2 on each building, or was it more than that?
I think it, well, the one out here was 2 cameras.
Oh, I
three
thought I thought you didn't do this out here.
I haven't done that one. The 3 up north were single cameras.
Okay.
Yeah. And those were just directional towards the building entrances, exits. So.
Okay, council, any more discussion on this?
So we're good for,
Yeah, I just,
and the, what was that?
I'd just like to see some out of the police department's budget.
Yep.
That's not.
And I'm fine with that.
That doesn't hinder any of the other projects.
right, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I have to check on one thing, but it shouldn't make that big of a deal. So I'll double check that, and if there is an issue, I will make sure to bring it up.
I guess I'd like to see as much of it as possible come out of there.
Right.
I don't want to put them in a bind in the last 15 days or 10 days for the police
Right.
department.
It will be fine.
We're only paying 2 salaries, so,
Apparently they own a Lexus now too.
yes, we do.
Without any keys. So do we just need to make
Or-
a motion?
Yeah.
Or
Or
what?
A book bag.
I think it's that, about 5% or whatever you say.
so 24,740.
740.
And we want to include the 48-month agreement at $299.95 a month.
Give me the rundown of that 48-month agreement again, Carrie, on the, that's
It's just,
There's that's what it covers down there. at the bottom.
yeah, you can read it down at the bottom, that's all I have on it too.
Which 10%, if it goes up 10% the first of the year, save you that.
Yeah.
And there's gonna be a price increase after the first year, they've already told us that. Or told me that.
Everything else.
Make a motion.
You do?
And you said that was the 24,740 was the 5%?
Yeah, yeah, it says 1260 off the total price, so.
Okay. I'd make a motion to approve the bid from INA Alert for 5 cameras in the amount of $24,740 and a 48-month agreement for $299.95 a month for tech support and 10% discount on replacement parts. Yeah, for 48 months.
second.
I have a motion and a second on the table. Any more discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed? Motion carries. Okay.
Do you need that one signed, Gary?
Just, yeah, you
One
can
of
sign
them.
that one, it'll be fine. Or there might be one on the back, you could sign them both. It doesn't matter who signs
Just
it.
that one there.
All right, thank you, Jerry.
You bet, thank you guys, do appreciate it. I think you'll like that.
When they sign that, will they send me a copy?
Yeah, they'll send you everything, Jamie.
Okay, moving on to new business. Our maintenance program and manhole restoration.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
I had sent over the information after we got done with our lining. We had talked to them about a maintenance program and also manhole rehabilitation. And so they have sent over, the one page is for the manhole rehab. In the emails there were more of a description and pictures of what it entailed, but I didn't print that off. If you would like a paper copy, I can definitely do that, but I didn't want to mess with the pictures of copies. And then the sanitary sewer maintenance program agreement is them coming out and making sure all of our lines are cleaned and everything yearly. Jason and I thought these were pretty good prices for what we're getting. You guys have had a couple months to look it over, so I just wanted to bring it up and see what your guys' thoughts were, if we want to continue looking at it or not.
We do our own cleaning schedule, don't we, right now?
Right now, yes, but we can't camera it. And that was the part that's I'm really trying to push so we can get other stuff looked at. Because there was a lot of stuff we didn't even know was going on until we cameraed it and got it done.
But having them come back and camera every year is different than signing up for the maintenance program, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that's a whole different
Yeah.
level.
Yeah, it's not caring, like, yeah.
Well, yeah, but the maintenance, as in the maintenance is what you're saying, they come back every year and do some sections and then, and that's it. Is that what I'm getting out of this?
They're cleaning it.
Yeah,
Yes,
cleaning.
right.
Right.
I thought the camera was on part of that.
They televise approximately,
2,167.
Okay.
I don't know the
feet.
percentage of that.
Okay.
It'd be 10%.
How many feet are cambered already? Cause we ended up, you guys,
10,000.
10,000 feet?
Yeah, it's not
And we-
even, it wasn't even a quarter of town.
Now, yeah, it's not a quarter of what's there. Probably about 10%, about 90,000 feet of sewer.
Because the ones we had lined, the ones I wanted lined was under the buildings, and the only one that was cambered was that one over by the school. Because the others, I was just worried that, we didn't get those cameras, I was just worried that if something happened under these buildings, we'd be in trouble.
But the amount of feet we ended up getting lined, wasn't it like 7,000 feet? Isn't that how much we got lined?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what-
something like that.
Yeah, I think it was 8,000 something after it was said and done,
See,
but.
I don't know.
Jason, do you think we could clean them ourselves and then just, when we run into problem areas, have them come back and camera it?
We can do that, I'm not gonna argue with that, no.
Right.
But, if we have if we have problems, we could sit there, they'll have to clean it and then camera it themselves, yeah.
Because I think when we had all that stuff cambered, and we only did 8,000 foot, but we cambered X amount and it was like $17,000. $18,000. Remember that?
Yeah.
I'm just curious, like, if we just clean them ourselves and we run into some problem areas, which you probably already know the problem areas, just.
Well, the ones
come
in
back
back
and camera
anyways.
those.
The ones we have cleaned, yes, anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, we haven't touched some of the town yet at all. So we gotta,
At one time, we talked about, just picking out the next bad section and starting next year on it.
Yeah,
I mean,
Because we still
think-
have footage that we have cameraed, but we didn't fix.
Correct.
Oh, yeah.
We only did the 4s and 5s.
I know,
threes and
that's
fours.
what I'm saying.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
More if we're not even gonna fix.
Yeah, we we lined
I would
like
almost,
8,000 some, but we cambered over double that.
Exactly.
Or 2.5 times that.
yeah.
Well, he just said we did 10,000, didn't you? That they
In 2004, we did over 10,000 feet, and some of that was done this time again.
Yeah.
That was worse, plus others that we've had problems with since then, but the first time it was done was in 2004.
I just think on the maintenance program, as far as that goes, if we're gonna plan on spending another $200,000 on replacing and having some of it lined next year, that we put it off one more year before we do any type of maintenance.
Yeah, I'd
Look
rather us do the cleaning for another year or two and spend the money on camera and lining.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would like to, not necessarily do the maintenance program there. I'm not opposed to looking at some of the manhole covers. I do know, and I'll just throw this out because we're talking about it, I know the county's got a bunch of ARPA money that granted they have 3 or 4 years to spend, but they can redesignate some of that money to the cities if they so choose to. So it might be something if, we decide to do more sewer stuff, that we could possibly go to the county and see if they would be willing to give some of that money for us to use on the city. Whether it be help cover for the manholes or even the lining, be another option.
We pretty well left it with Austin to come back next year and camera some more, didn't we?
Well, we had talked about it, yeah. I think that's what.
Put us back on the list to come out for cameraing again? Isn't that pretty much how we
Well,
did
I think
This was part of it, though. Am I right when I say that?
it?
yeah.
It can be, but I mean, it's like add $10,000 to, right?
Right.
I mean, this program is
Well,
over
here-
double what cameraing is.
And my thing about it, if we're gonna have them come out and fix some of this stuff, they run their cameras through it, they clean it before they ever line it. So I mean, what we're gonna have done,
Yeah, I don't wanna pay twice.
right, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's why I would say we do the next step with the money that we were gonna use this year, next year. We use that money next year on the next step, and then we wait till 2023 to even think about a maintenance program. And then maybe we can budget it for that maintenance next year for 2023 out of our deal and build back up our sewer replacement funds. I don't know how bad our manholes are. Are they bad, Jason? I mean,
Well, some of them are. That's why we're getting bricks out there at the sewer ponds, because it finally makes its way out there, but. There's some that are really good shape, and there's some that's in poor shape, and there's some that's in medium shape, kind of thing,
I mean, I wouldn't be, it's a little cheaper than the cleaning and and cameraing, but
And we don't have to make a decision on it today.
I just think we need to plan on cleaning them ourselves and get them back out here and camera again and make another plan. We got lucky on the COVID money this year. Make another plan to
replace some.
do just what we did again this year, do it again, and find the next set of 3s and 4s and go after it again.
And then council can budget some money for the future if they decide to do something.
If we keep lining, our maintenance is gonna get way less anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
Other than maybe this part,
Right, yeah, but
the manholes, I mean, cause they aren't really lining any of that stuff.
we have enough footage right now where we could say, all right, this next summer, come in and line another 7,000 foot, probably.
That's what I want.
But
Well, or you
Just-
log how many times you go to one place, and you'd know pretty quick where you're gonna go next. I mean,
yeah.
we know from week to week usually where we're at. I mean,
Did
We
we
know
take
which
care
ones
of
give
all
the
the
problem.
4s and 5s this last time?
The ones we looked at and told them to, yes.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying,
Everything that was cameraed.
I don't even know what's going on over that way, I mean, because we haven't had that, but the ones we did, They did, yes.
The ones we cameraed and that were 4s and 5s.
Yes. And then the ones under the buildings too,
Right.
extra.
Yeah.
But
I
we
would
haven't
rather, I would
cambered the
rather
whole thing.
camera more rather than line what we've already cambered.
Well, you'll know after you camera what you need to line anyway.
You see what I mean? I would rather spend the money finding the next set of 4s and 5s than lining the 2s and 3s where we've already looked
Yeah,
at.
if you, yeah.
I mean, if we're confident.
I just thought there wasn't any more 4s and 5s, you pretty much the
But we didn't camera
lesser-
the whole town.
Right, but we cambered the worst spots that we thought.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, the ones we cameraed, we picked the 4s and 5s.
So come out and spend another 18 or 19,000 and have them camera about what they did last year, and then make the decision to have that stuff lined.
Yeah, I think,
Yeah.
I think that's a
Yeah.
lot
Yeah.
better money spent.
Right.
I'm good with that. I think we hold off on maintenance stuff until,
So we'll just move this over to old business.
Still
Yeah, because whatever they camera, they will clean themselves.
Still manhole, right, the next one.
That's part of the cost.
Oh, I can put it together, didn't
Yeah.
One more, it looks weird the way it is now.
It is a weird.
All capitals.
do we just wanna maybe talk to them after the first of the year? Have them start getting us a quote on, getting with Jason and getting a, you know, where we're gonna go next to have it cambered, and, I mean, we might as well just spend the money and get it on the books and get it done first
I
of the
just
year.
thought sure I thought sure we told him to put us on the list and he was gonna call next summer. I thought that's how we left it with him, but maybe not.
I just,
That we wanted him to camera again. I thought sure that's how we, when he was here, you know, when he set it up.
So what do you wanna, if he's gonna go ahead and run numbers, how much, we need to tell him how much he can spend to see how many feet we're gonna get. So how much do you wanna spend?
I think we need to revisit it in the next several months.
Yeah,
Yeah. Have Austin come out again and talk.
yeah.
Yeah, we can continue cleaning and then, I mean, it's whatever section we decide we want to do and just bring it in.
do we have a section that we didn't touch that you might think is worse, would be something to be thinking about, Jason?
Well, we did, there is some places down south that we didn't camera, but we knew it was bad from the, you know, so we got them to do one there and then one over here and then, so it's spot hit and then that's kind of the problem. So we just have to sit there and just start with one and go with it. And if they hit one they already did, they already know they already got that one, they'll jump over to wherever they didn't. And so I just gotta sit there, we could look at what they did and then I could sit there and start spot hitting from there. And then just try to work in that one area instead of jumping around everywhere.
They've got that all GPSed, correct, Jamie? They have all that GPSed.
Yeah.
Where we can make a method where we're not doing as much
Right.
jumping. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's something Jason and I
And that-
talked about was quadrating out,
Yeah.
trying
Yes.
to do
Have more of
so
a method
much.
for,
Cause it's
Easier for
already,
you to remember,
yes,
too.
and it's already on a map. We got it
Yeah.
drawn, highlighted on a map, what's been done, this has been done, in different colors of what I did on that map.
that's how I pick next year's.
So-
Split up what we already did. Expand from.
Cause we need, yeah,
Start again. Maybe in 5 years you get the whole town done.
Yeah.
And you're not trying to remember, did we line that one over there?
yeah, it's all drawn out.
I'm
Okay.
good with that.
All right, Jamie, next thing, Golden Belt,
Uh,
IT.
if it's okay with you guys, I would like to go ahead and just, go forward with Golden Belt. They're gonna be in town every Thursday and it's just gonna be a little bit easier, if we can just have that motion. It's gonna be more expensive no matter what we do. Randy did a lot for a little, so it's something we're gonna have to bite the bullet on because it's definitely a need and there's really not much way around it. So if I can just have permission to get them started and I can try to get a final cost on different things. Some of it will be under my budget. Actually, if they do it should all come under, but I just want a motion to approve Golden Belt as our IT. If it's okay with you? Yeah.
No, first.
culture
I make a
courses.
motion to approve Golden Belt for our IT.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the table. Any more discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries.
And can I amend the agenda to add one more under new business, please?
Okay.
So moved.
I have a motion and a second on the table. Any more discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries.
Tori wants permission to sell the cage out of her car, please.
It's actually in the fire station.
For the fire station. The
The
cage
Oh, yeah,
from the
the cable
Durango.
cage.
The canine
kennel
cage.
cage.
I think Mike wants me to get it out of this fire station.
I don't care.
Yeah, get it out now.
Okay.
Is that what you wanted?
We need a motion.
Make a motion to let Corey sell the dog cage from the vehicle.
That doesn't have anything to do with like picking up stray dogs or anything. That's a
No,
separate
it was
deal.
for the canine. That was what was in the Durango. But I now have a seat
Where do we
in
get
there.
rid of it? Or where, I mean,
Sell it on Purple Wave. But I mean, that's one of the options. Or I can sell it. There's a law enforcement page online where we could sell it to law enforcement in Kansas.
Durango specific?
Yes. As it fits, like in the back seat.
I have a motion on the table. Is there a second?
You can't use Brandon else, second.
Okay, motion and a second on the table. Any more discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right. We have a 15-minute executive session for attorney-client privileges
You need 15?
to include everyone around the table.
Yeah.
Okay.
So moved.
second.
I have a motion and a second on the table. Any more discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. We'll resume at 8:16. Call this meeting back to order. I ask that we extend the executive session another 15 minutes.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the table. Any more discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. We'll resume at 8:31. Call this meeting back to order.
I guess I didn't know.
Unless there's any more business this evening, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the table. Any more discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Same to you.